If I've done this right, I shouldn't sound like a Dalek. Do I sound like a Dalek? Do I sound like a Dalek? Has it worked? Did I do it correctly? I was just like, don't say anything until it's fixed. Is it on? Is it working? We've got our Tess in the comments. We've got Delonco. We've got Scarlett Higher Perch. We've got Mona. Fabulous, everyone. Welcome down, people. Welcome down. Give me a like, share, comment. Let me know that you're here. We've got another fantastic Tuesday lined up for you. Hi, Alan. Yeah, so no shots for technical difficulties this week. I'm sorry, guys, so far. I mean, there's still time. There is still time. Hopefully our Tess is going to be jumping into the Miss Penny Arcade page. So if you see any comments tonight from the Miss Penny Arcade page, that's our Tess. She's jumping in as one of the admins for tonight. I don't really know why. I don't necessarily need her, but it's always handy to have. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Josh. Hi, Amy. Hi. So hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's well. We've got 30 viewers, 27 viewers. It's Tuesday. Tonight we have got two fantastic queens coming and joining us. The first one is here already, and the second one is not quite here, but hopefully she's on her way. Hi, Anna. So let's introduce our first guest for tonight, the ever-gorgeous Toni The Doll.
Hello.
How are you doing, girl?
Can I see the comments or not?
If you click on comments or chat, I think it is, it should be able to show you the comments.
I've got this.
Probably should have told you that beforehand, really.
Yeah, probably.
Having a small wine tonight, I went to get the one that they enjoyed last week and they didn't have it. So I've gone for Prophecy this week. I mean, if they want to send me a couple of bottles, that would be amazing. I'm not going to say no. I haven't tried it yet. Just anything for free stuff. What are you drinking, girl?
I'm having, oh God, I haven't drank in so long. I'm having mango vodka with orange juice.
So cute.
So kind of like a mimosa.
Yeah, yes. It's almost, we're going for bottomless brunch.
A posh drink.
We've got Brittany in saying hi. We've got Anna in saying hi. Akridge, shalom, dear. We've got Joanne. We've got Melissa. We've got Amber. Fabulous. Oh, welcome down, everyone. Got all sorts. Akrid's cutting out her sleeve, so she'll be quietly watching along. She's going to be doing very little, I suppose. But very little's her new style. What else we got? My favourite. We've got Laura saying my favourite. Hi, our aunt from the yard. So yes, guys, if you've got any questions for Toni, get them in. If you want to ask me anything, that's also fine. We've got Crystal joining us very, very soon as well. So that should be camp as well. Hi, Reese. Get those questions in. Toni, have you been watching Drag Race?
I have been watching Drag Race. Which one, the US or the UK?
Should we start with the UK?
Right.
What did you think? What did you think of this week's? With the final?
The finale.
The finale.
I thought it could have... I was in full support of Bimini. Really, really was. But I respect Lauren so much because I think she's so funny. Like, she's such another person.
Absolutely. Hold that thought. Crystal!
Hello!
Hey,
Great. I was having lots of tech issues, but I got here in the end. That's
technical issues, that means we've got to have a shot. If anyone's doing shots, we've got to have shots because technical issues.
I'm not on shots, but I do have some nice straw hat wine that I found in my local.
Oh, fabulous. I'll have a little mouthful of that one. I said I wasn't going to drink this week, but we may as well. Cheers, girls. Oh, banana sambuca. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. That caught right in the back of my throat, and that's been a while. So we're talking UK Drag Race. Crystal, what were your thoughts?
Yes, UK Drag Race. Actually, season 2, I'm assuming we're talking about. Yes, it was very good. As a whole, can't complain with season 2. I'm not a huge fan of drama, so I didn't like when it all kicked off with the Ellie Diamond all that, like that really annoyed me. Besides that, I really did enjoy the season. One thing I was absolutely devastated about was Veronica Green, because she's the only one of the cast I had seen, like, actually met beforehand.
Right.
So going into it, it's like I knew what she was capable of, and when that happened, I was like, God damn it! I was just so annoyed for that. But fingers crossed for season 3.
Yeah, well, that's it, because she's got the pass to come back. She
Yeah.
definitely stood out on stage during the moment when all of the ex-contestants came on, and she was in that nude, sheer kind of moment with like the red rhinestones. She stood out like a mile then. And
Yeah, I saw she made a post about that because a lot of people made loads of shady comments that she was the only one not in pink, and she said she intentionally did that for the reason of standing out, which fair play to her, it worked.
Absolutely, like Toni, you're a fan of a fleshnet. Like, would that have been your sort of style? Would you have gone for the nude luge?
Oh, well, I'm like a big fan of like the nude illusion. I want to look like I'm half naked. And it was floral, so it is probably something I would have worn. But
it was a definite way of standing out, because everyone else did go like deep reds and pinks.
yeah, it was definitely, she stood out like a sore thumb. Whether that was like the best thing, I was like, oh, I really wanted everyone in pink. But
I think if there'd been a couple more of them kind of in that sort of slightly more skin showing, so it was kind of patched out a bit, she would have still stood out, but she wouldn't have been as obvious, I think. So,
it's not lush though.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and she's going to be back for series 3 as well, so that's going to be camp. Lawrence was the winner. I know spoilers, but you've had a week. Come on. So Lawrence won it. There's been a little bit of a kind of like, we wanted Bimini to win, we didn't want Lawrence to win. What are your thoughts?
Well, for me, personally, I was Team Bimini at the end. Like, I was fully like, yes, let's do this Bimini. But like, you can't fault Lawrence winning at all. Like, she fully deserved it. Like, I can't be mad. Plus, to be fair, have you seen that Bimini's the unofficial Miss Congeniality now?
Yes, voted for by the other queens.
There we go. So she got something. Plus, I've seen on Instagram as well, she's literally getting like 10,000 followers a day. So like, she'll be fine without the crown, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It's like when Tess was watching it along, our Tess jumped in and she was like, "There's always All Stars," and I do think Rue's making more like tactical decisions for her winners now because of All Stars and shows like that. So she's got more potential for these amazing queens to come back.
Yeah, definitely. And so, like, at the minute, like before, like Davina versus Bimini and like All Stars would just be like, especially of how different they are. Like, just taking 2 examples of 2 people who you know is going to get the All Stars opportunity if it comes. So yeah, All Stars are looking up to be a great season if and when it comes to the UK.
I'm looking forward to the international All Stars that's being battered about as well.
Is
like
that
the US versus the UK.
Is that definitely going to happen?
Yes, apparently it's filming now. That's what the rumours are saying. Have you seen the rumoured cast for it? Because I'm living for the rumoured casts.
Well, I haven't seen anything apart from the fact it might be filming now, and that's only because Gladys mentioned it earlier on.
Do you want to know
the oracle when it comes to it?
Do we want to know the rumoured cast, or do people want to keep that top secret?
Should we ask the audience, guys, girls, if you want to know the rumoured cast? Let us know it in the comments.
Also, this will be fully going by my memory because I last looked at it like 10 years ago, so I remember a few of them. Don't quote me on it.
Hi, everyone. Get the comments in for us. Lucy has asked, "Hi, Toni. How much would it be to skin your face?"
To skin my face?
Yeah. She's pretty. She's a pretty queen.
What, me? Like,
yeah.
Skin it like, not Hugh Hefner, what's he called?
Like, I was going to make a movie reference, and then I remembered that you probably are far too young to know the reference.
No, I'm like...
It's a movie called Face Off with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, and they...
I was thinking Texas Chainsaw, but to each their own.
Oh, yes, yeah. What else have we got? We've got Plastique in Hijack. They've said, "J'adore Crystal's hair."
Thank you.
I love it. I do love it.
Yes, it was the Gladys Stuffy wig before it was the Gladys Stuffy wig, because I have proof I bought this wig before she did. But literally, this is one of the very first wigs I ever bought in drag, and I got it for like a bit of a punk look. So I thought, I'm going to go back to my roots, because I was quite a grunge, edgy punk queen when I started drag. So I thought, let's whack it on. Toni said she was doing purple, so I thought, why not break out the purple corset and my punk wig, which you can tell cost like a £5 on Amazon.
The Tracy Nelson over on YouTube's has said yes, spill on the rumored cast. It's only rumor, so you can't sue us.
Yeah, so to be fair, it could easily be wrong, and it's just a cast, so like that doesn't really stick by anything. But from what I remember, there's a strong chance I will get this wrong. So if anyone wants to Google it and whack any mistakes in the comments, feel free to. From the top of my head, from the UK, we have Bagger, Blue, and Cheryl. My theory is that Davina was asked, but she turned it down for whatever reason, just because it seems weird having two of the Rock Destroyers, but not all three.
She's just going to Chicago as well, isn't she?
Yeah, so I was thinking between that and the fact that I know recently she did an interview where she said she was on the fence about doing All Stars. So I feel like she might have gotten a call but turned it down, but we'll find out at some point, I'm guessing. From the US, this is where there's a lot of debate about it. If I remember correctly, Monique's 100% confirmed, or confirmed as far as rumours go. Then it's Juju and Manila. A lot of people are sort of on the fence of which one, if not both of them, so we'll have to see. From Holland, we have Janie Jacquet. She's the only one from Holland, unfortunately, but I'm sure she'll be great. Not my personal favourite, but like she made top 2, so she definitely deserves a spot there.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else. Canada, we have Jimbo and Lemon, so that'll be quite interesting, especially with how different they are. So that'll be quite an interesting pairing going in. And then from Thailand, this is where he's going to catch me because it's doing one I haven't seen because I can't find it with subtitles. But I know one of the hosts is doing it apparently, which I think will be quite an interesting dynamic. I can't remember if there's more than just her doing it, but I know at the very least one of the people who hosted Thailand rumored to be doing it. So that will be quite an interesting thing for a judge and host to be going into compete. So looking to be an interesting season.
I hope so.
Did you research?
I'm actually impressed I remembered all of that. I'm not going to lie.
We got a question from Chris. What are your thoughts about the hate the Queens like Sister got on social media? Social media hate's a hot topic at the minute. Absolutely, because we were meant to have Pawn on tonight, and she couldn't make it for now. So because she was on a live the other day and got a lot of hate from some people. This isn't that kind of live. This isn't a live where we do hate. We're very much Tuesday. It's middle of the week. We've got no worries. It's almost Friday if anyone's drinking. So, we want a lot of love. But a lot of the queens this series on Drag Race, and Lawrence as well, actually. Lawrence, the winner of Drag Race, got a lot of hate. Like, what are your thoughts on social media and, like, I'm going to call it a community, even though it's really incredibly not.
I don't like hate in general. So it makes me feel like awkward. Like, even the thing is, I'm not even good with like shade and stuff. Like, I'm so like precautious, like even throwing shade, because I get scared that I'm gonna offend people because I don't know how to word things right. So when I watch like people take their lives, like take time out of their lives to do it, I genuinely don't understand it.
Like, you mustn't have a lot going on if you've got the time to sit
like and the thing is, it's not real. Like, as in, it's like it's a reality show.
Yeah.
It's not like how we see it. I think unless you've went through the process, you're not really going to be able to like explain what it's like.
Yeah.
But obviously everyone's heard how hard it is, and it's just kind of like
Rue and Michelle. Rue and Michelle both said this to Ellie as well. They were like, "You came in, you played the game with the running order for the roast for the comedy night." That's what we needed. They needed them to play the game. If you get a chance to put yourself ahead, you can be friends after the show. Like, that's what it takes. And I think with that sort of show as well, it does spark a lot of outrage. Because I think a lot of the fans are quite young and they've got a lot of opinions that are very strong.
See, I think a lot of it. So honestly, I don't think necessarily that much of it is the younger fans, because there have been times I've seen people literally like 30s plus commenting like death threats to them, and it's like, well, at that age, I mean, any age you should know, but especially that age. But I think for the younger people, it is more of a case, like especially like 17 down. It's like their only knowledge of drag is through Drag Race, and if they don't do all the research, like behind the scenes, how the edits, and generally they can't see the queens like live and like actually get engaged with their personality.
Yeah,
they don't see how fake it actually is. Because I remember saying, like, as much as I would love to do Drag Race, I'm far from mentally stable enough for that, knowing the risk of like getting the villain edit and things like that. Because I have quite a dry sense of humor, and like Tony, a lot of times I'll say something like in a nice way, but it'll come off as a bad way, and it'd be so easy to edit into the villain. And I would spend every single second from finishing filming till it airs, it'd be like constant anxiety attacks that I would get that edit, and then I'll just get millions of messages every single day, and just I honestly wouldn't be able to handle it. So like massive respect to Ellie and stuff who are still keeping trooping on, because I don't think I would be strong enough to.
But this is it. Like they took the show and they had someone who was so incredibly open about how they were bullied growing up, like Lawrence, and then the community turned on them because they had a bit of a rant, which was totally heightened in the edit. But
also, one thing about that, because I feel like I've definitely seen people mention it, but not nearly as much as it is worth mentioning. That was right after the first lockdown. Put your hand up if after the first lockdown you were in the best state of mental health ever, and on top of that, going on to the film a reality TV show, all the stress that comes with that, and just a million and one things. So like, fair enough. I think like it was a heightened reaction, like not deserving of what Ellie did, but in that situation, I can't fault her for acting like that, because if I was there, I probably would do the exact same thing. So absolutely.
Like I put a status on when I saw it happen, and I was like, when I got back to work in the yard for the first week after lockdown, I was so tired. I was so emotionally drained. I thought I was ready to go back. And this was just me on the bar as well. It wasn't drag or anything like that. I didn't have to have the false front as such. But I was tired. I was nervous. I was emotionally drained, and I didn't know what was happening. And I was very, very emotional at the time. And then I saw it on TV, edited in a way where someone else was going through exactly the same thing. Because I think a lot of them cried that week, but they didn't necessarily put it in.
Yeah.
I reckon all of them did, because that's what I'm not going to name names, because I'm not that type of person. But I remember in a Drag Idol chat, and there was quite a few people who made comments about like, oh, it's all the sob stories this week, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, mate, like, do you not remember where you was this time? Like, I guarantee we all felt like this. So like, fair enough, I get it is annoying to hear sob stories back to back like that, but like, you've got to respect where they're coming from, because Lord knows if that was me, I don't think I would have even went back for the rest of the film. And they said, no, peace out, I tried. Call me back for All Stars, I'm done. Like, I don't think I would have went back.
It's such a moment, because like social media is so powerful as well at the minute, because people haven't got a lot else to do.
Yep.
So people are seeing more on social media. They're putting more out there, but they're outraged a lot more as well. I'm just going to the comments very quickly. We've got the Yard and Heavens Above. Hello, Yard and Heavens Above, saying hello, Queens. We cannot wait to be back to the Yard. I'm so excited to get back in there. So excited. We've got Tess on the Miss Penny Arcade page. It's very strange seeing my own name pop up. Saying, so hi, Crystal. Got Lucy saying, and you'll catch her playing the game at Can in August. Who? Which one? Lucy, tell us which one. Was it Juju? Am I right? I think it might be. I'm not sure.
Lawrence? I think Lawrence is doing a tour at some point.
Oh, they are. I think they are doing Can as well with the United King dolls. We've got Sush, who's on next week. I'm so excited. We've got Sushi Buffet coming in next week, saying 30-something is still young. No, it's not, girl. No, it's not.
30 is still young, but it's not young compared to these 17-year-olds that don't know left from right.
Sometimes even younger.
This is what I mean as well, by I accidentally say shady stuff. That is what I mean.
We've got Dartsman saying, evening all from the First Lady of the Newcastle gay scene. Hello, Dartsman, my lovely. Hello, dear. Tess, can you please stop complimenting people on my page, because people will think it's me when I don't do compliments. Crystal does look fab, though.
She tried for like 5 minutes.
Lucy is saying, literally Crystal for Prime Minister. And Ellie Diamond is going to Can.
Oh, yes. Exciting. Fun. Also, Crystal for Prime Minister can't do worse than the current one, so why not?
She's got the Theresa May hair. Right. Speaking of social media hate, it is a massive issue at the minute. So please, please, please do not bully anyone. We are not living for it. Don't do it. If you've got nothing nice to say nothing at all. And on that note, here's a very special guest that we thought we'd bring in.
Oh,
hi, girl. It's our Pawn, everyone. She's here.
Nice to see you.
I can't see how I look on the camera.
You'll be fine, girl. I promise. You're fine. I'm just trying to think of which one's going to be the best little layout. Hang on. No, yeah, let's go back to that one.
Hi, Tony.
Oh, there we go. Tony's popping it up and going.
Where?
Is that
Which
better?
way?
Anyone else getting seasick watching this?
This is my usual night now.
There we go.
Fabulous. Look at that. Look at that whole screen of beauties and me. This is so great. Honestly, this is literally like the new reboot of Sex and the City going on right now. Except Samantha's not in it. So we've got Brittany saying gorgeous porn. We've got Danny Blanco saying turn your camera sideways. She knows about getting it all in the wide lens. We've got lots of people saying hi gorgeous. We've got Laura asking what's Tony's favourite drag outfit? That's a question for all of you then.
Oh,
Favourite drag outfit?
who's gone first? Me.
You go first, Tony.
I
My
can't
favourite
hear
drag
Penny.
outfit. What?
I can't hear Penny.
You can't hear me.
That sounds like a tech issue.
Oh no,
Am I?
not this.
Do you sing it for shots? Technical difficulties. We'll do it anyway. Technical difficulties.
Can you hear it? Shall I carry on? Shall I carry on or not?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Should I leave and rejoin?
This is technical difficulties.
Oh wait, no, it's working now. It's working now.
Right. So, what's the question? Favourite drag outfit?
Technical difficulty Tuesdays. So, favourite outfits.
Right. That we've worn or that of someone else's?
What would you like if you had a dream outfit? I think what would it be?
Oh God, that's a big question. Do you know what I would love? Right, is like, do you know what Violet Chachki wore to the finale of the next year? That, but Barbie themed.
I have no
That
idea
was
what she
it.
wore.
So what the cockroaches?
Like the cockroaches, but instead of that, like Barbie heads. I don't know, something pink.
Just glued on Barbie heads to you.
Someone I saw. I think someone in the Newcastle scene definitely did something with Barbie heads. I think.
I think everything's being done at the moment. Like now.
Mother Tucker's definitely done doll heads and things, which was high camp. Crystal, what about you? Dream outfit?
Oh, dream outfit. Something I can't afford, but I don't think dream outfit is in something I would love to own or something already own because I own some stuff I love, even though it's not great.
What would be your like if budget wasn't a question?
Oh.
What would you name for yourself?
This one I had my iPad to hand, so it's got all my designs on there. I'd say something just really big, extravagant, colourful, probably a reveal in there somewhere. Like I love a shoulder piece moment, even though I haven't even got shoulders on this outfit. So I'd say probably some really big, dramatic shoulders, some form of unexpected reveal or tear away. Probably some like loads of referential stuff on it somewhere. Because I love referential stuff, even if I rarely do it. So yeah, big, colourful, and weird, I guess.
She's going for the sister make it yourself outfit.
Oh, I love a good make it yourself DIY outfit.
What about you, Paul? What would be your ideal outfit?
A nice Ann Summers lingerie set with a nice wig.
She's breaking out.
Some nice shoes, some expensive shoes. Some expensive shoes to go with it.
That does remind me, everyone's PayPals will be available at the end of this.
Also, mine's on my Instagram, Crystal_Enigma. That is Crystal_Enigma if you want to follow me and go to my PayPal.
There we go. Things that you wear. Tony, you have merch, don't you?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I do. Do you know what it is? That was completely unplanned. Like, I was asking Bad Wear Day for, like, help with my own stuff. Worked on a couple of designs with Kane. And I was just like, oh, like, what's the best way to go about it? And they were just basically like, well, why don't you just sell it with us? And I was like, me? With you? I was like, oh, sure, go for it. I was like, if you think that'll sell, you put it on a t-shirt.
I've seen people buy it. I've seen people wearing it so far.
It did okay. It did okay. I mean, Kai helped with, like, advertisement and stuff, but it was madness because I felt like I love clothes so much. Like I sent in the Drag Idol group chat the other day. Like literally, I've been drawing clothes since I was like 5. So even like to have like someone think, oh, let's make close with this person, I was like, honestly, it was such a compliment. Like I was so honoured. But
Like Bad Wear Day is such a recognised brand now as well. They've got people all over the world wearing their stuff.
Also, can I
Like,
just point out, since Toni was the first person from Drag Idol 2020 to get their own merch, does that mean they're technically the winner since that was one of the answers?
Default winner.
Default winner.
I don't know. I can't say.
Right.
Because I'm going to be working with Frida very soon in Bobby's. So, like,
I saw. Congratulations.
Winner. Like, she's already getting that work in there as well.
Drag wasn't for me. After Drag Idol, I think my life just went in a different round. I was like, drag isn't working out for us. Let's get them bum pics.
You swapped careers so quickly.
I was like, the drag.
Like, it's because obviously, like, I was lucky enough to have like a night out with you and Tess back when the bars were still kind of open, and we had like a little night where it wasn't really talking about drag or anything like that, but we got to know each other a little bit, and you were still very much enamored with the drag. Like, are you still as in love with drag as you are with your other career?
Drag, I don't see drag how other people see drag. I respect how other people see drag. Some people see drag as an escape. Some people see drag to boost the confidence. Some people see drag as an art form. Some see it as a political movement. I see it as prancing about in a wig. That's how I view it. And that's what I like to do. I like to prance about in a wig, here for the party. I'm not really here to make a point. I'm here to put on a nice wig and nice makeup.
You just
maybe pull out a cartwheel or like a box step.
Like I've always said, I was in like, I do drag for the job. I do it for the enjoyment of it. I started out as a DJ and then realized I could make more money in drag back when drag made money, and now I'm kind of still here. Like, what got you started in drag, Toni?
Well, me and Kai started together, and we're like
and it was not a pretty
sight.
Time. It was not a pretty sight.
It was not, like, I looked awful. I had boy brows. But anyway, like, I think I started just because, like, I loved costumes, and I was like, all right, like, this is like right up my lane, and so I started it. And like, I think when I say, like, no matter what, I think it's like, for me, drag is just like someone expressing themselves, like, in their truest form, like, to the best of their ability. I think someone's like expressing themselves. So I never, like, the thing is, I never really sit down and like say this person's drag is like awful, this person's drag says this, like,
it's very personal. It's a very personal thing.
Yeah, it's like a journey as well. Like, when I started, like, I'm still not what I want to be, but when I started, I was awful. But it comes with time. Like, it's a complete journey.
What about you, Crystal? Like, what was your like drive and ambition when you first started? What got you started into it?
Sort of long story short, otherwise we'd be here all night. But pretty much in college, because I did musical theatre at Gates of College, I was sort of where I really discovered Rocky Horror. And then from there I was sort of like, oh, hang on, this is quite interesting. Let's have a little dabble with this, shall we? Then I sort of looked into RuPaul's Drag Race, because it was all on Netflix at the time. So I thought, right, let's just binge watch this, see what it is. And then watching that, I was sort of like, oh, hang on, this is a million times different than what I expected of, like, what my perception of drag was at the time, of just massive blue eyeshadow, like a cheap sequin dress, or like that very old school, like decades ago type of British drag. Which, fair enough, that is still great. It's just not what I necessarily wanted to do, and I thought that was the only part of drag that existed. And then from there, I sort of realized, I saw queens like Manila and such who did like really conceptual outfits, and I thought, well, hang on, this strikes something with me, because at the time I was sort of questioning if I actually wanted to pursue performing arts, just because I was sort of sick of the idea of, right, here's a script, learn your lines, you've got to do this exactly like this for however long the show runs for. And that was something that sort of like, like, sounds fun. I know I would get sick of it after a few weeks. And And then I sort of like discovered drag, and it was sort of like, oh, hang on, I loved painting as a kid. Now I can paint my face. I loved this. I love acting. Now I get to act through my lip syncs. I love dancing. Can do that in my performances. And it was sort of a combination of all these art forms I loved as a kid, but just couldn't like decide which one. And drag was like, oh, hang on, I can do all this at once in whichever format I like. Let's do this. And then just sort of for university, I sort of explored more, dabbled more, and now I'm here in still my extremely cheap Amazon wig.
It's one of those things, like you said there, that Manila was a big influence. Did you three go back and watch all the performances? Because I know one of the UK legends, David Dales, had a bit of a rough week this week on social media about whether or not wigs should have fringes, etc. But did you go back and like study UK drag, or did you just kind of watch RuPaul's Drag Race and learn from that, and then kind of dip your toe into what we used to be doing?
See, I sort of studied it, but not so much the performance aspect as much as the art form side of it, or like political side of things. I remember when I first started getting into it, I watched Drag Race. I thought, cool, this is great. Let's just do a bit more research into it, because I was like always like, right, let's read as much as I can, learn as much as I can type of person. And I'm watching documentaries like it's only recently I've remembered the name of it, because it's been bugging me for years. Was Dressed as a Girl, and like documentaries like that. I've recently watched Pink Feathers, I think it was, and I just sort of like just for the past like 5 years, I'm just constantly watching documentaries about drag, UK drag, international drag, and it's sort of been like, oh, this is quite interesting, learning about these legends, the roots of drag, and all that fun stuff, because I'm a massive history buff. I'm just really bad at it. So learning the history of drag for all those documentaries has been quite interesting.
What about you, Tony?
What was this?
Like, did you go back and like kind of look at older UK drag as well as like Drag Race, or was Drag Race one of your main inspirations?
The thing is, like, I do really like Drag Race. It's just like there's other things that got me into drag rather than that. Like I was saying to Cher today, I was like, I would much rather get like a makeup tutorial of like Vogue than go on Drag Race. I'd love to go on Drag Race, but I would love to like work with Vogue more because it's more like fashion themed.
You and Pawn are definitely more fashion queens. Like Crystal, where do you put yourself? Like, are you?
I don't really put a label on mine, because I feel like of all the categories, I feel like the best that suits me is the alternative queen. I feel like when you say alternative, that tends to be a lot more extreme than the stuff I do. So I always find myself like very in the middle. Like that's literally where my name comes from. It's Crystal P. Enigma. So something pretty to appease my homage to Marsha P. Johnson, something political. And then Enigma, something weird, and that's just what I do. So I don't necessarily do fully weird, and I don't do fully pretty. I'm just sort of somewhere in the middle, and then it is what it is.
I do apologize for missing the P out on all the promo.
I saw that, and I chose not to call you out on it, so it's fine.
I was going by your handle rather than your.
It's fine. You could just do what Tess did, just put the complete wrong handle on all the posters. Fine.
Just looking for a topic, guy.
You can get a topic, guy.
Do you know what I've realised? I keep on looking down at my comment section on my iPad, and then I've just looked at myself. It looks like I'm completely uninterested in what you're saying. But I'm watching it on my screen. I'm just sat here like this.
Getting back to me. No, but what about you, Pawn? Did you look at the UK drag, like the older UK drag scene when you started Drag Idol, or did you just kind of go, I just want to do drag?
So when I was younger, I used to watch, and it's so strange, no Sharon Needles.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Sharon Needles. I wanted to look like her. I wanted to be the spooky Yuki queen. I love horror movies, so I wanted to be Sharon Needles. But then I also loved Fifi, and then I was like, let's merge them together. But no, so basically I saw them, and I never really imagined myself doing drag. But then as time went on, I decided to do makeup, and then from makeup I done drag. And then Tony said he was doing Drag Idol, and he was too scared to do it alone. So I was like, I'll be a supportive friend. And I thought, fuck it, I'll do it. So yeah, like we're done Drag Idol, but when we first ever went out in drag, we got these really ratty wigs. I think I wore like this red salsa outfit, like proper red, awful outfit. I had these
I think I
ugly
remember that.
blisters on.
Is this the first time I went out?
If someone can
you
find
had
pictures,
this
please send them
yellow
to
Oh
wig
me.
my
on.
goodness gracious.
Tony looked like, you know, Thor from Avengers. Like the gay version of Thor, and he had the yellow wavy wig on. Tony thought he was too good for
eyeliner and thought I was
eyelashes.
the shit.
Eyelashes are such a hot topic for me. I think every queen should wear eyelashes. I don't care if not every queen has the same makeup. Please wear eyelashes. Please. Best.
I'll see.
Even if they're just
I'm like that with
powder
eyeliner.
ones, even if they're just cheap ones, just get some on.
Or you could get custom lashes like I have, because I'm fancy. It's the only fancy part about my drag.
As long as everyone's got a gimmick. So if you've got any questions for any of the girls tonight, please get them in on the comments. I'm just going to have a little quick scroll back and see what we've got coming in. Compliments, compliments, compliments. Compliments, you all look fab, blah, blah, blah. Compliments, compliments, oi, oi, porn. Compliments, compliments, compliments. Twitter handle, compliments, compliments. Nothing for me, thanks, guys. So Danny Delanco has asked this every week. What would be your hometown look from week 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK?
I've
series?
got my hometown look.
What would that be? What is it?
Well, I'm doing it basically for MX because one of our catwalk themes is regional.
Yeah, because you're doing the mixed drag
Pageant.
Yeah, pageant.
So I've actually got that, which you'll like see, but basically I took it like, and it's quite a basic way, but I did it like the colours of the flag, like black and white, just a gown. I love mermaid tails, so like I've got a mermaid tail, black and white gown, black and white hair, like just something elaborate. And then I've got, do you want to see my bag for it?
Only if you're willing to do it. Is it exclusive?
I've got, do you know what it is?
Love an exclusive.
We love an exclusive. We do love an exclusive here on the Tuesday.
Hold on.
All the MX viewers are sat here watching right down notes.
This is a football.
That is high camp.
I love it. See, if they look more like that in PE, I might have actually paid attention in school.
Yeah.
Genuinely would have paid more attention if that was a thing. We've lost her. She's gone now. That's Toni done. She's just going to sit there and spin that. Exactly.
Right, hold on. Focus, guys. Right. So, yeah, black and white.
What about you, Paul? What would be your hometown look?
Well, I come from South Shields, so mine would be very beachy. Mine would be fun fairs, like very like, you know, the seaside runway. I'd try and find a way to.
If you come from South Shields, you're called a sand dancer. So you could go like full, like sandy ballerina.
I'm a sand stand on the spot look prettier. I'm not really a sand gymnast.
But you could go like full like ballet outfit made of sand.
Ooh, that sounds like a mood. I'd show up as a sand castle, me. With two little.
You could also go dressed as Sarah Milliken, so you know it's choices. Like, but they had the Romans. South Shields had the Romans.
The Romans.
Yeah, you could go full like Roman centurion.
Romans.
Yeah, see the gears talking trying to figure out what a Roman is.
I'm trying to work out the soldiers, the metal things.
It's literally a breastplate.
Romans are from Rome.
They are from Rome.
It's
from South Shields.
What about you? Like Patrick off SpongeBob.
What about you, Crystal?
See, I'm not entirely sure because I'm originally from Essex. So I think whatever I'd want to do would sort of be a combination of like Newcastle and Essex. Obviously, Newcastle is what I claim as my hometown, so basically.
So you're doing Geordie Shore.
Yeah. See, that's one thing I've said for years is Towie started first, and I hated it because throughout all of secondary school, people were constantly making Towie jokes about me because I've got a bit of Cockney accent and whatever. It's a lot thicker when I was younger. So people constantly make jokes about it, and I thought, right, this is starting to die down, it's fine. And fucking Geordie Shore came out and it all started up again. It's absolutely livid. But yeah, in terms of the hometown runway, I'm not sure. Probably obviously something very Newcastle inspired. And one thing I thought would be really cool to do, I'm just not sure how to do it, was because obviously Nelson's column's such a big part of it. I would love to like try and turn that into some sort of outfit. I just don't know what to do with it beyond just a very long skirt. And then on top of that, I would also love to do like the Essex like city crest or something like in a heart shape, just to show like even though I am from Newcastle, Essex does always have a place in my heart as like some sort of referential thing. But that's sort of as much as I've established, as much as doing a hometown runway, because it's quite a hard feat for Newcastle because we have quite a lot of like signature things, but no, like, you know what I mean? Like there isn't really something that you can really turn into an outfit super easily, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
No, me and Tony discussed this actually. I remember ages ago. I said I was going to rhinestone an Adidas tracksuit and get like hooped earrings, messy bun, black eyebrows, highlight them with solid white, do that whole vibe, have a pack of like a bottle of Lambrini, some Echo Falls, some tabs, and walk down the runway. But all rhinestoned. To represent Newcastle. I don't think there's anything more iconically Newcastle than the lasses stood outside
Spot on.
McDonald's
You can't argue with that.
for a fight.
The little 14-year-olds with that.
Oh, that's the way town looks. I wasn't expecting any of it, but you know, we get there. Erin has commented. Our Frida has commented saying, "Why would anyone give you this much responsibility?" To our Tess in the comments, because Tess is the Miss page tonight. I'm so sorry. Please. Honestly, she's there just monitoring the chats tonight. She'll be straight out that page tomorrow. It looks so gorgeous. Caught in the back of my throat. It's been a while. Hello. Hiya, Frida. So yes, we've got lots coming up with Bobbies in Newcastle. The final one was out today. Our Gladys is the final face added to that lineup. It's such an epic lineup. What would you three girls do if you had a brand new night on the scene? What would you bring to the Newcastle scene if you could bring anything?
Club Kid night, hands down. Like we need more Club Kids. Like I love Club Kid stuff so much, and then that's one thing that inspired me when I started doing drag, because I know quite a few Newcastle scene did Club Kid, and this is from more of an outsider perspective. So I'm not that into the Newcastle scene thanks to COVID, but I feel like there isn't much Club Kid stuff here, and especially when I was like doing uni or doing drag down south, no one seemed to know what the hell a Club Kid was. So I would love to just bring Club Kid stuff back because I love it. I don't get to as much as I wish I could, but we need more Club Kid, just hands down.
They do. They have got some stuff coming up, as far as I'm aware. But I miss the small gigs. I do miss the small ones. Like Shade was very good at bringing kind of a more intimate setting to it. So hopefully in the future we can have something slightly more kind of like intimate within that sort of aspect of bringing a celebrity in, but having it as still our night, but with a guest.
Yeah.
Rather than coming to see the star. That would be cute. Again. What about you, Paul? What would you bring to the Newcastle scene if you could bring anything to a bar?
I'd have do a celebrity impersonation now, where you like show up as a diva and you can perform a number as a diva, like keeping the icons going, like keeping like Amy Winehouse, keeping like you just impersonate someone. You do numbers based off celebrities that inspire you. Yeah, like sorry, Zilf keeps on texting us and I'm like, he's saying how stunning I look and I don't know if he sent us pictures of toads. I'm like, fuck off, stop sending us ugly photos.
Stop distracting us.
In the comment section.
It's very serious. We do this every week. We haven't ever had someone distracted.
God, he was going to sit in the room and I was like, no, you are not sitting in the room.
No, this isn't about him. No.
I was going to get him in drag. You should do next week.
Please. I'm desperate to see him in drag.
Do that as a live.
I'll do a makeup tutorial.
What about you, Tony? What would you, if you had a night to create as your own, what would you bring to the scene?
I love Vogue balls. I don't there's one Vogue ball, but like down south, I know they have it regularly, just off when I've spoke to people. Or I love burlesque. Like, I think burlesque is so, like, classic. Like, love big feathers.
So a night where you take your clothes off.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Yeah, Tony, we all know what sort of night you're planning.
We can work this all together. We can work it all together because obviously the club kids back in the day in Newcastle, they had Ella Boys, who was a burlesque performer.
Mm-hmm.
So she would often get her baps out.
I think
on
with the
stage.
club, like, I think, because my cousin's have a fetish, and I think she used to work with club kids, or was it Shady?
It was Shade that she used to work with. Yeah, I think she did do a couple of club kids ones. But
She's like a proper club kid, like,
yeah,
proper out there.
she was one of the Shade girls.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a moment for Newcastle when we had that drive. Like these, I think there was 5, 6 of them, 7 of them, kind of put together and went, "We're doing this. This is happening." Forgive me if I forget anyone. Mother, Beauty Killer, Anna, Crystal, Heather, and Elle, and Venus. I think might have been the team. Sorry if I did forget anyone. But they just clubbed together and they literally went, "We're doing a night. It's called Shade. Come see it." And people turned up. And it was so good. It was so enjoyable at the time. And they were the first people, I think, to get Rue Girls to the Newcastle scene before club kids started getting more organs. Like, it's still possible to make a night huge without a big name because they have the talent behind them. And like, I'm still waiting for the new generation, which I'm not putting any pressure on you lot. But we do need something new still. We still need the new queens to kind of new performers, I'm going to say. Sorry, I shouldn't say queens because it's very one-sided. New performers to gang together and be like, we want a night here. We want to do this. We want to do that. Show us your drive. Show us what you're coming in with. And hopefully we can get some new fresh blood to the scene.
Yeah, we don't want fresh blood.
Yeah.
We've got enough blood on the scene. We've got the beauty, the brains, the talent, the art, the quirky. All 5. We don't need any other one. We don't need more competition.
Are you girls? Because you all did Drag Idol, didn't you? You've all done Drag Idol.
I was thinking that before. We were like all competed together.
Yeah,
how
I was
did
for
that
2
go?
weeks. Don't even act like I lasted more than blooming 4 weeks.
I mean, I only made 3 weeks, so.
I got called beauty no content, so I found my content in other ways. Subscribe.
If you like, so was there any gossip from backstage at Drag Idol that we haven't heard in the public consumption? Because I need to know. I'm working with
Honestly, I don't think there was.
I need to know exactly what happened backstage.
I honestly don't think there was any drama from there was like after things like went to COVID, there was a little bit of like few like tiffs in the group chat, but nothing really string things unless everything was just bitching about me. And I mean, I will mention there was another group chat that was originally made without me, so Frida had to make a new one just so I could be a part of it. I will mention that.
Oh, it's fine. I was put down well, like at the start of it, we were all speculating who was doing it and who wasn't. And no one knew who I was. So they were like, Karma and Karma's sister. And I was like,
they were like Karma's sister.
Yeah, Frida actually put like a massive like document together of like all the different rumored people who were like speculating who was going to do Drag Idol, and they literally put Kai's sister.
I was like, to be fair, I did look like press face, so it was like easily confused. Like, whatever. I'm not bitter.
I'm just waiting for some just a little bit of gossip to come out of it. I'm so excited.
I'm trying to think if there was any gossip.
Let me see.
I'm still going for Miss Geniality, so you're not getting
Johansson said she had some
gossip.
And that there was drama, and that's why she left the group chat. So,
who?
Sorry, time.
Is there the Scottish one? Can you remember the Scottish one?
Which one?
Yeah, I'll say how it is. She ain't affected my bills. Can you remember? God, you know.
What about
that? Bearing in mind, we did talk earlier about online bullying, so let's not go into anything that could be bullying. I just want a little bit of gossip.
I will not say names, but there was something involving some queen not from Newcastle.
I'm trying to. The thing is, I literally, if there was any like proper gossip. at the
Everyone
time-
talks about that time I wore boxers drama. Everyone talks about how.
By
Tony
everyone,
was
Tess.
stupid.
Tess brings it up
Everyone
constantly.
talks about how.
To be
Tony
fair,
was
though, if
stupid.
you're going to wear boxers, you should expect it. Like,
Yeah, but look,
how many years?
Right.
How many years has our anti-Ophelia balls stood there and say we don't want to see tight lines? We
I'm
don't
gonna
want
have
to
to
see
switch
boxers.
Well,
Guys.
Speaking of which-
I turned 18 in December, and then I done Drag Idol in February. Like the
So you've
start of
had more than
February.
half of your life of research.
And Nick has word on my, because it was people sat there with beards, stubble, hairy chests. So I didn't think they'd go, why you got boxers on? I was like, well, okay. I'm an alternative queen. I wear boxers as part of my drag.
I'm just trying to charge a guys. One thing.
Although one thing I would like to mention, just because you mentioned tight lines there, one thing that I still write and I will milk to death was the fact that Penny made sure to mention the fact that I was last Sunday night week one part 2, and I remember Penny taking a second to pause and be like, right, everyone look at her, and I honestly thought she was going to read me to filth about something I didn't realise, and said, these are the tights you're supposed to be wearing. I was like, so that was something that I will literally get that tattooed on me, because I was like, I was like, right, I'm doing something right.
Biggest advice to anyone think about doing Drag Idol 2021: dance tights. Dance tights. Get yourself some dance tights. It's the
See, I've
way
got to get-
forward. I promise
To
you.
give face / give body, I don't know the branding type thing. Just whack a few of them on. You saw
Wear
it.
2
What I
pairs.
did.
They'll pull up to your nipples if you're thin enough. I
Oh no,
promise.
I don't go for 2. I'll wear like 5. I'm very particular with my tights because I know I'm really pale and they're very far from my skin tone. So I have a very, very strict method of what I do. I literally wear like 2 flesh ones, then a white pair, then a pink pair, then another flesh pair, and then it ends up my skin tone. So that's how
I
it's
used to
done.
have to wash one pair 3 times to get it to match my face. So
That works.
there we go. But no, honestly, please, dance tights if you're going to do it. Apart from dance tights, have you got any other advice to anyone who's thinking about starting drag?
Don't wear a 65-inch wig when you're doing front flips.
Don't miss
Katana
out.
thinks she's being funny in the comments section.
Well, that'd be a nice
You
first.
shitty bitch.
Who?
Katana said I'm too drunk. Someone should come collect us.
Oh, is she raging because you were getting
Also,
attention and she didn't get
Any
attention
advice
when
for
she was
newly
on?
started queens? Don't speak to Katana. She's a nasty, horrible online girl.
I love my girl, Kit. I do. I love our Kit.
I'm only
Our
joking,
Tess got
guys.
her first pair of dance tights today as well. Our Tess did get her first pair of dance tights. Silly bitch only ordered 1 pair.
It's a start. I mean, she only just got lashes. One thing at a time.
She'll wear them and she'll put the American tan over the top. So, you know,
Oh
she's
my
getting
God.
there. She's getting there.
Oh
So if you've
my
got any questions for any of the girls tonight, please put them in the comments. I'm very excited for it.
I'm trying really hard to make this elegant and it's not working.
I'm just going through comments now, seeing what's happening.
Tony, I'm
Apparently,
trying
you
to
made a top fan a few days ago. Thanks, girl.
Right.
The comments, everything, it's all going on. Rude, use your own account, Penny's far more fancy tights. What? There's lots of, yeah, so basically, girls, what's coming up next? What's happening next? What are your plans after lockdown? What's your first thing you're going to do?
MX, really. Which I'm excited for. I'm competing against people that, like, I see as, like, statements on the scene. Like, I think,
And
like,
Pebble.
Ivy, Dick, like, they've really established themselves. Whereas I feel like...
I didn't know they were in it.
Oh, yeah, they're in it.
Have they announced that?
Yeah. I think so. I'm Pebble.
They have now.
They have now.
No, they have announced it. Yeah, so it's like Pebble, really well established on the scene. Ivy, really established on the scene. Fucking Dick, established on the scene. Like, it's, and like Elizabeth, like even Elizabeth, such a fashionable girl. So I'm like, wow, I did Drag Idol once and then COVID happened. Do you get what I mean? But that's my first thing to do that I'm really excited for. But I'm excited to go against the people I'm going against.
It's like with the pageant world, it's very much what you do. You can't compete against anyone else. You can just turn up and do your best.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, I think that's.
I mean, do you want to know a really fun pageant story that I've got?
Oh, please, yes.
Go on.
I did Miss Drag UK in the 1 year it did it, then COVID. And I got, bear in mind, there was 20 people and I came 15th. So that's your record to beat. So yeah, so if I can do a pageant, anyone can. Even if I do pretty much come last.
Wait, do you get marks?
I would assume Miss England, is it? I keep forgetting the name, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'd assume that'd be the same sort of thing, because Miss Drag UK, I'm fully going to call them out. I absolutely hate that experience. Would not recommend at all to anyone who's considering applying. Don't. Maybe in a few years it might be better, but for the first year it was god awful. Would never consider doing it again. But yeah, they did mark. Yeah, the Miss Drag UK pageant. This was different to the one in Newcastle. And it was just a really bad experience. So don't do that if anyone's thinking of doing it. Like maybe in a few years, but the first year was god awful, and it's put me off ever attempting that again. So yeah.
What was so bad
that was
about
like me with Drag Idol.
It was just so badly organised. No, it's because literally I remember when we started, and we was told, right, it's starting at 7 o'clock sharp. Everyone, like, it was very strict. Everyone had to be in full drag to be on stage for 7 o'clock. And we was like, right, that's fine, no worries. Everyone got in drag for 7 o'clock. Then ended up starting to like 8 o'clock. Bear in mind, everyone was sitting there in heels, corsets, wigs, like that they'd done like super tight just to get ready to like, right, we're gonna go on 5 minutes and come off. So that alone was right off to a bad start. And then most people getting the feedback back. Like me personally, it took me, well, like I think nearly 3 months to get my feedback back. And it was like, well, if I didn't win, I at least want to get my feedback, give me something. And then they got me, or called me the wrong queen. So they sent me someone else's stuff thinking I was them. And it was like, well, come on. I've been asking you for 3 months. You keep saying it'll come tomorrow. And then you send me someone else's. Like, love, get it together. And even then, the feedback was literally just, yeah, you did good. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? So yeah, just as a whole, like, it was just a really bad experience to me and just would not recommend at all.
You did go to prime go-to for Drag Idol. I'd be like, I really enjoyed it. It was very good.
I did get to meet Ellis Atlantis, and Ellis Atlantis did say they gave my finale gown a 10 out of 10. So whether that was true, I don't know, but I'm going to choose to believe it is, because a 10 out of 10 from Ellis Atlantis is always a good thing.
Cool. Just a quick reminder to everyone who's watching and in the comments, this is not a place for hate. Please do not share us any hate, because if you do, you will get blocked and barred. We've got people on that, so don't do it. It's not worth it. Just watch it, screen record it, bitch later. We can't be bothered.
Guys, get ready to see all these sexy bitches on Twitter. Okay, all 4 of you are going to pause, and then the haters can get a nice screenshot.
Yeah, do a nice model pose.
3, 2, 1.
I'm already doing the Penny Arcade.
Okay.
Right, beautiful.
If you've got them in, yeah, good. Good. We'll see that on Twitter later.
I was just about to be like, we'll share our Twitter links, but I'm not going to, so it's fine. So if you do have any questions, get them in. How about spell my name correctly? From Scarlett, SKARLETT, Scarlett. It's like Tiffany, TYPHPHAANNI. Tiffany, we love her. Get those questions in, please. Let us know what's happening. Quote the Raven, says Acrid. Nevermore. Anything you do want to know, let us know. So, Drag Idol US, we haven't done this yet. Mostly because I haven't seen this week's episode. I'm that bored.
Do you mean Drag Race US?
Yeah.
You said Drag Idol, me and Tony had the exact same face. I'm really confused.
Sorry.
Drag Idol US.
I've had more than 3 sambucas, it's gone now. So yeah, Drag Race US. Right. I haven't seen it because I'm bored. I didn't watch it. What do you think?
To be fair, it wasn't a great episode. The advertising challenge is never anything to write home about, but yeah. Excited to next week though. Next week will be fun.
I'm struggling to think of what actually went on.
It was the ad challenge where there was like it was selling the sodas and Utica Loki sucked off a cow.
Oh right, okay, so that is.
I knew that I'd make you remember what it was.
The thing is, right, is I was more entertained by the UK version this year. But
I mean, the finale versus some 4-way challenge, like we know which one everyone's going to watch more this week.
Yeah.
Our free to say Tess would probably enter drag out of US and drop out of that one too.
The
Difference
shade,
is,
the shade.
would she make the final?
Would she make episode 1?
I do love our Tess. I love our Tess. I'm very excited to say that I am on Tess's live on a Wednesday in a couple of weeks' time.
I bet you don't have to draw on your face in Sharpie like I did.
No, I don't know what we're doing yet. She hasn't told me what we're doing yet.
Tess,
So
make up Sharpies.
The thing is, you actually made that look half decent, Crystal.
I know. I don't know how, but I somehow blended the Sharpie contour better than my normal contour. I don't know how I did it.
Tess
Like,
looked
you
good as
did
well.
alright.
I'm not going
Like,
to shade her by any
consider.
chance. But Tess did look good as well. Tess looked like really good. Even the next day when she sent me a picture of her
Oh God.
still with her face on because she didn't have a wesh.
Most of the face, she was missing half an eyebrow. Did you see that?
But you know, it lasted. It would have got through a whole shift.
To be honest, Tess had me howling that whole time. I was watching her, like, she was like, I'm really anxious to do my eyebrow.
It was that first moment where she had.
It was so funny.
I can't do it. I'm going to distract the conversation and then I'm going to go back and do this. No, nah.
It took them it took us like an hour to get something on it.
I know.
It took an
We
hour
was
to
both
get
terrified to start. That's why. Once I'd started, I was flying through it. It's just the first. Yeah, no, that was a terrifying experience.
Because
Howard's getting it off.
this week, Mona's on our Tessers, and it's the
weeks, I think. That might be next week. So no Mona's doing 2 back to back.
Yeah, I think. I'm trying to remember.
Tess, put in the comments.
Mona doing Tessa's face, but
That's
Tess
it.
guiding Mona through it. So Mona is going to look like Tess. Tune in at Tess Official.
That's similar because me and Tess are doing like a style swap.
What?
Like we're doing a style swap, me and Tess, because I'm on it like in April once we're out like mixing stuff, so the date might change. But what we planned was, I'm gonna do hair makeup, she's gonna do mine, and I'm gonna put her in my clothes, and I'm gonna get put in her clothes. Which will be so fun.
Good luck, Toni. That's all I'll say. Good luck.
Right, quickly going through the comments. Bear with. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this.
Hi, Toni. How are you?
I'm feeling good. My hair keeps getting in my way. I wish I like pinned it up.
Hi, Crystal. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm quite swell, living the best life. Gonna go on lots of holidays after lockdown. Yeah.
Going anywhere nice?
Pen, I think my comments I'm posting through your account, but I have blocked a couple of willy heads. You are smashing them.
That's
hi, willy heads. How are you?
I love a good willy head. I do. So yes, if you are,
we stand the willy heads.
We were talking about like social media bullying and things like that earlier on. Like, it's not fair, is it? It's not right. It's not something that should happen. Like, wait until you see them and tell them. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that goes with everything.
I think people hide behind fake accounts because the struggle saying it as themselves, and it's the best feeling ever knowing it's not some pretty bitch with hundreds of followers calling you ugly and calling you loads of nasty stuff. It's some bitch behind a fake profile who sat there and thought, I don't like myself, so I'm going to try and make you not like yourself. And guess what, bitches? You've tried for the last 3 months, and I'm loving myself.
I love how brutal you are.
I'm not brutal. I'm just like
honest.
over it. I'm over people trying to. It's like, this is why, do you know when Candy Muse on RuPaul's Drag Race, the American one, was getting loads of hate? I sort of sympathize towards her because I was like, it is all over a TV show. You just sat watching a TV show and thought, I'm going to go out my way. And you know what? She might be like popular, but you can still see the comments. If 1,000 people are sat there calling out all sorts, why? Why? It's a TV show. If Candy wasn't causing drama, you would have said the season was boring. You would have sat and watched the season 4. Why wasn't there any drama? It was boring. It's the same as a horror. A horror said it how it was, and people didn't like that. And I think without a horror, would someone have said, yeah, Tia, I don't like your outfits. Yeah, I don't like... And that would have been a boring season, if you get what I mean. I feel like every season needs someone who says something, someone who's like... It just... Every season set out with different personalities. And without that big personality who says it how it is...
I think the less
it wouldn't be a good season.
The more you will comment on other people's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you haven't got anything going for yourself, you will comment on what other people have got going for them.
Yeah, I think Ahura commented a lot on Tia because Tia was given the personality and the likability at the start that Ahura struggled
with. Those two,
with.
they also had the moment where Ahura got to know Tia.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ahura went, actually, I was wrong.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the thing. The fans never see that like that sweetheart moment. Yeah, they just focus on the... You can literally say one bad comment on Drag Race, and that'll be the thing that haunts you for the rest of your life. They won't see you helping this queen's sort of outfit. They won't see you doing this, like helping this queen write funny jokes. They'll see that one bitchy comment you made about a fan favorite, and then that's it. Drag Race is over for you.
Yeah, like I know a lot of queens who do a lot of stuff behind the scenes for other queens on the scene. And they don't get the recognition that they should get, but they sometimes get called out for stuff. And I'm like, you have no idea what these people are doing behind the scenes to make nights happen, to make things work.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very hard to kind of judge what's going on from one perspective.
See, that's why I just avoid drama. If I hate someone, I'm not going to say if I hate someone. If you just take Penny. I've got nothing against you, Penny. This is my first time actually speaking to you, so you're a prime example of this.
Crystal,
but just say
that's not what you were saying in the group chat.
Don't
say what a nasty bitch Penny was in the group
Stop
chat.
it.
Don't send the screenshots, God. But yeah, just take Penny for example. Like, if for some reason I absolutely hated Penny for whatever reason, obviously I don't know if I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't exactly just sit and like chat so and so. Like, unless Penny was to come to me and say, "Hi, are we friends? Are you cool?" Then I might say, "No, actually, I dislike da da da." But like, I just don't see any reason to like go out my way to say, "No, I hate so and so," because there's no point in it. Because who wins? No one does.
I've genuinely had moments on scene where I've walked up to someone and gone, "Are we okay?" Someone I don't even know, and I'd be like, "Are we okay?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, are we?" And I'm like, "Well, I kind of thought there was an issue, so I just wanted to come up and make sure everything's all right." And they're like, "Yeah, everything's fine from me. I just thought you were a bit off." And I'm like, "It's nothing. It's literally just how we've perceived each other from the start." And it's very, very difficult to keep that kind of openness going. Like, sometimes people just have a face. I have one of those faces where people don't understand what I'm saying. I also have a tone.
Well, no, because Penny, I feel like you're really friendly.
Yeah.
I think you are. Like, the first time... The thing is, though, I was so naive. Like, this is the thing. Some of the queens will throw shade at me, and I'll be like, "Oh, thank you, like, great." Like, they'll be like, "I love your hair." And I'll be like, "Thanks." And then Kyle will be like, "That was shade because your lace was fucked." And I'll be like,
No, I won't say that. Basically, I could say who said it. We were outside the yard and Pebble went, "Oh, you got lovely hair," to Toni. Me and Toni then went upstairs to the toilet, and Toni had tied his hair up in like an updo, and the lace peeled off. And I went, "Toni, you do realise the wig's coming off?" And then Pebble, Toni went downstairs. Kitana helped Toni glue his wig down. And I went, "Toni, you don't say thank you when Pebble gives you a compliment. Pebble's
Pebble's actually one of those queens. I love our Pebble. I love her to bits. But please, if she ever gives you a compliment, worry. Like,
yeah, exactly that.
If she's giving you a backhanded compliment, take it. But if she's giving you a compliment, something's gone wrong. Would you give what advice would you give to someone new thinking about doing drag? What advice would you give to them?
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Don't.
No, I think my actual first bit of advice, just 'cause I've seen a lot of queens not do this and then come to regret it very quickly, of start cheap. Like I've there's one queen in particular I'm thinking of. I can't remember her name, so I can't say their name for you, unfortunately, because I know you love people calling out names, but I actually can't remember the name. Some queen from down south. Her very first wig she got was a Wigs and Grace one for like 200 plus quid, and then being a baby queen, she had no idea what to do with it and just absolutely fucked the lace, and just basically made it look like a cheap like £10 Amazon one. And that's just one thing I live in fear of. Like, I don't know how to do wigs, hence my £10 Amazon wig at the minute. I do have slightly nicer ones, only slightly nicer ones. But that'd be my biggest advice is start cheap. Like, I know personally I spent money on outfits, which I didn't know how to look after, and then they got ruined. So that's my biggest genuine bit of advice. Start cheap. Feel free to look a mess for a few months, maybe a few years, Kai, and then after that you'll look lovely, so it's fine.
What about you, Tony? Any advice?
I can hear her thinking of something shady.
I'll give her a minute.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice. We're both last drag idols, so I mean, we're both just as bad as each other.
But we both got a win, so we're both better than Tony. So
yeah, we both got a win, and we both got some home. Tony
I
didn't win
just
shit.
sailed through it.
Yeah, but which of you bitches
Tony
wig
lost
sales.
the wig, Tony lost the shoe, and he lost the competition. At least mine and Crystal's wig stayed on, so it's a win-win for us.
Who's selling the t-shirts?
At least I'm like memorable.
Who's promoting the t-shirts?
Anyway, so no,
I'm
like
joking,
so,
Tony.
So advice for like new queens is like
Stop scratching whatever you're scratching. It looks like one of Paul's videos.
no,
Fuck off, Tony. He is.
what would I say? Just the thing is, I came on the scene, and I would say, like, not everyone's gonna be nice to you, and not everyone's gonna like your drag. Because I came in and I was like, oh, I'm great with people. Everyone's gonna love me. Like, I was like, everyone's gonna like my drag. I'm so fashionable. And it was like, sometimes you just aren't someone's cup of tea. Which was like hard for me to wrap my head around. So I would say that is like, just don't think it's like all fairy tales and rainbows.
Yeah, don't expect to be like loved by everyone because it's
Yeah. Like, don't just expect to be like on the top of it, like this, that, and the other. Like, it's real life. Like, it's still real people at the end of the day. Some people like just won't like it. Some people will like it. Like, it's not just cupcakes and rainbows.
I'm just double checking because I don't know if our comments are still coming through.
Because I've noticed that no one's commented for a while. I wasn't sure if it was just us being very boring.
Oh no, I'm sat watching people comment.
Yeah, they're not coming through on my screen. So
Tess asked if we had a perfume, what would we name it? If we had a perfume, what would we name it?
Well, this is Ray's question, so we'll give Ray that comment. So,
no, there's a comment.
Oh, for those who don't see Drag Idol, what would you? So we've got a comment from the YouTubes. So I think it's just Facebook comments that aren't coming through.
Tony, do you want to start?
Yeah.
I'm most memorable.
I mean, you got further than us two, so you've got that as a win, in my opinion. So,
I think the thing is, I think the judges were like waiting for me to progress, and it never happened. So,
I mean, I still stand by your number. Like I've said to you, like if I got that prop, that's exactly the number I would have done. So I still stand by you. Yeah, like if I got that crop, that's fully what. I mean, I haven't said to you, like I've been looking at the dinosaur number for ages, so that's fully what I would have done. So I'd
like,
stand by your number.
Do you think the judges were looking for things that you weren't doing because you'd already kind of hit where you wanted to be?
I don't know what it was. Like, I think by week 4, I had already said I was going out. And before I went on stage, I turned to Kai, who was in a stupid dinosaur costume, and I said, watch me fuck this up. I was like, watch this. I was
Tony knew he was going home that week.
Yeah, I said, like, I had decided in my mind. I was like, this is the end of the road for me. Like, not, like, I wasn't going to, like, quit, because I was like, I'm not a quitter. Not spit, swallow. And I was just like, listen, I was like, I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna do my very worst, and I'm gonna leave. And then I also sounded like awful when I was like, oh, Gladys is like really old and I'm really young, so she's a dinosaur.
That was like my problem. So
Gladys is only 3 years old. I'm just gonna throw that out.
The thing is, I sounded like so not like me. Like, it was so not a performance I would do. But I was just trying to hit the brief. The thing is, if I had got like a space hopper or champagne,
as soon as they pulled out that space hopper, I knew whoever got a space hopper was going to win, because it was such I don't want to I think Cher won that week, so I don't want to dismiss her win because her number was one of my favorites of Drag Idol. But like, as soon as the space hopper came on, I was like, that's what I would want. Like, whoever gets that is like, you've got this in the bag.
I wanted champagne because I wanted to pour champagne all over myself and just act like a sexy little stripper. But I got a crown.
You pull the lever, the champagne comes down. That's it.
Flash dance, like.
And then Chris is just mopping the stage for about a week.
So no, yeah, I got no wins, but progression.
But look at Ellie. Ellie had no badges.
Yeah.
True. I got further than these two. These two fucked up earlier than me.
Exactly. So you've got, so as shady as we're being about the lack of wins, you still did get further than us. So by numbers, you did beat us. So fair play.
Thanks. Anyway, carry on. Crystal.
What about you, Pawn?
Oh, Pawn.
My problem was, so basically I got 1960s as my category, and I was like, ooh, Toni, I'm going to do astronauts and do Nicki Minaj. So I thought it would have been brilliant to do Nicki Minaj. And then when the other numbers came on, they were doing songs from their era. Like, everyone was doing songs from their era, and I looked at Toni and I went, why the fuck I'm doing Nicki Minaj for 1960s? And I was like, God. So then I started downing the drinks thinking, you're going to go on that stage and do Nicki Minaj for 1960s. Pound the alarm came on. Next thing you know it, I'm trying to copy off Toni and Cher and do splits. Didn't bloody work. Tried to do a cartwheel. But do you know what? I had knickers on that week and no one kind of hit us. I had knickers and tights.
Progression.
I think that's the joy of Drag Idol, is that it's because it's in such a close environment that it's all about who happens that night. Like, when someone gives it their all and does amazingly badly, like, if someone does amazingly badly, they can still get through because of their passion.
Yeah, mine one.
Like, I still go back to my years, and like, I love Sapphire Blue. I love Sapphire Blue with all my heart, and she was the best Miss Congeniality for us because every week she listened to what the judges were saying. She added extras in. She stepped up her game until she went out because the competition got close, and unfortunately, she was the worst that week. So it's one of those things where, like, if you are going to do it, please put everything into it every week. Like, no matter how bad it's going, no matter how wrong everything sits together, you've got to do it and you've got to make it work. I'm just
that was exactly me in week 3. Just because week 3, like Toni, I knew going in tonight, I was getting eliminated week 3. There was no to it. Like, I literally knew from Wednesday. I sent the tape to Chris and I was like, right, I'm getting eliminated this week. Let's do it and hope for the best. And like, I knew going into it, like, right, if I'm getting eliminated this week, I'm at least going to put up a fight. So I gave it 110%, knowing there was no way this was going to go my way. And I disagree with my win, but I can fully 110% understand why I got, like, I disagree with the fact I got eliminated by 110%. Like, if you think they said, like, there's nothing the judges said that I disagree with. So it is what it is. I still got a win in week 2 for stapling shit to myself. So
I'm having to check the messages on my iPad because my screen has frozen for messages.
Yeah, same.
People want to know, how did Toni and Pawn meet? How did you girls meet?
Did I explain?
You can explain.
So before Toni tried to be a straight boy and had like brunette hair and tracky bottoms, when I first saw Toni, he used to wear these like red thigh highs just to college. These full red thigh highs to college. Red hair, red lips, red eyeshadow, crop top and blue shorts. He was an icon. So anyways, I saw him walking past the train station. I thought, oh, cool. And then basically I followed him on Instagram because he came up on my suggestions. And I was doing a live stream in Durham Pride. God, what a first Pride to go to. I'd never been to a Pride before, and Durham was the first one. But I was like, oh, Toni, do you want to come with us? And Toni was like, yeah, sure. Toni got really drunk at the Pride and went, you're going to be my best friend for life. We aren't going to ever leave each other. We are going to be friends. And then I thought he was the next day, I thought he was going to be like forget. Then he messaged us the next day being like, oh, do you want to hang out? And then next day he went, oh, do you want to hang out? And the next day, and I ended up hanging out every day.
I'm a very needy person.
So any pictures of those times later on, pop them in the comments for us.
Oh,
I need
God.
to see this red look.
The thing
Please.
is, I was such, like, I did not care about, like, girls and boys' clothing. I wore thigh highs to college, and I was like, I'm an icon. Like, even as a boy, I had bright red hair. I was like, I don't care about gender. Like, people were like, are you a girl or a boy? I was like, doesn't matter. No?
Like, this is something that's definitely coming up a lot more in conversation about gender identity and things like that. Obviously, next week we've got International Trans Visibility Day on the 31st. So that's like a moment, because I know a lot of people will be at home. I don't know if they're watching this, but if you are at home and you're not able to represent your true self in person, please know we see you. Please know that we're all here for you. We're family. It's a moment. Like, if you aren't able to represent your true self, it'll get there. You will get there. Please be safe. But for us, like, how much of a moment was it for you to discover that, like, gender identity didn't necessarily matter when it comes to fashion? Like, if you want to dress well, you can dress well no matter what you're wearing. Like, how did that come to you?
What, to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think when I started doing it, this is like a funny story. So I was like literally 10 years old. I had like my childhood friend Grace, and we had just moved into a new house, and Grace was like, oh, like, had came over, we were decorating, and she was like, how cool would it be if we got all of your mum's boots, painted them gold, and just wore them, and like cut all these jeans up? So I was like, I had painted. By the way, we painted the floorboards as well, which I got fucking knocked for. But my mum walked in and I had these like golden. She had like these like cowboy boots, and I painted them all gold, awfully. Had these like really cut up jeans, basically showing my arsehole. And I was like, here I am, and I'm an icon. And mum was like, wow, I raised a gay boy. And that's the story. That's when it started. And then from that, I was just like, clothes are clothes. They don't mean anything.
What about you?
I love that story. That's a really cute story.
Like, did you have a moment where, like, gender identity didn't matter to what you wear, or like, how does it work for you?
Paul?
Me?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think, well, as a boy, I actually like to wear quite a lot of boy clothes. But like in videos, I like to serve quite femboy. I'm not really, like, when we do obviously the work as an accountant, I like to dress up quite feminine because I don't think there's enough feminine boys in the industry. I think there's a lot of like muscly men who do like OnlyFans, but I don't think femininity is really shown. And I think that's what I like to show in videos. I like to wear lashes. I like to express my feminine side then. But like in the past, I've never ever really been comfortable with being feminine. But then when I met Zilf's obviously really into feminine, so he loves it. And I think that encouragement has caused us to be like, I'll wear a skirt today, or I'll put on some lashes to go with my look. And I think there's that aspect of being with someone that's not ashamed. So like walking down the street, I'd feel more protected than with someone who's looking about going, is he looking? Is he looking? Is he looking? I've never experienced that. I've experienced more him showing his off and him being proud.
Yeah.
So that's allowed me to be more feminine, put on lashes. If I want a cake or makeup, I'm not having someone to go, wow, you look cakey. I'm having someone to go, wow, love the makeup, your skills, like I love like the way you do things. And like that's why I built my drag room for us. He like sat and built my entire drag room, put up the shelves, and he's like supportive of my drag and he's like really encouraging. And I think that's really helped us
The sport's definitely
delve more into drag.
needed. Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
Chris, what about you? What gender and drag identity? How did they work together?
That's sort of quite a very long answer for me that we definitely have not got the time to go into. But in terms of gender identity, I think for me personally, the best way for me to describe my gender identity probably would be gender fluid or something in that ballpark. Like I've never found a word that is right, that's me. But I'm very much a go with the flow, do what I want type of person. Out of drag, you'll never realise that because literally, I think the only outfit I've worn since day one of lockdown is just long sleeve black t-shirt and black joggers. Different t-shirts and different joggers. I promise I know how a washing machine works, and I promise I do have multiple of the same outfits. It's not just me wearing the same thing every day. But yeah, it's like literally me like that. Like gender fluid probably is the best thing. Like I definitely don't want to transition to female. That's not me at all. But at the same time, like as a boy, like it's just like all that male stuff like just doesn't resonate with me either. So I think gender fluid is probably the best way to describe me out of drag, of just I'll wear what I want and do what I want. And that's the exact same approach I have towards drag, of I'm just going to dress how I want. If it looks a bit more masculine compared to some queens, i.e. these two stunning ladies, and Penny's also here. But yeah, like literally that's the same thing in or out of drag. I'll just dress how I want. Obviously drag's more heightened and more feminine. Like I never wear makeup out of drag just because I hate doing makeup. By far my least favorite part of drag. And like just the idea of wearing foundation, not being able to touch my face is just a big no-no to me. And then out of drag, if I had the money, I probably would invest in more like not necessarily feminine clothing, but just something a bit more exciting than just a t-shirt and joggers. But yeah, like I'll wear what I want. And if someone has a problem with it, fight me. Please don't fight me. I'm very weak. I will definitely lose the fight.
It's one of those things. It's like obviously, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm very like gender fluid, conforming. But on a daytime, I'll have my stubble and I'll wear something slightly feminine and jeans, and I will get people like a couple of weeks back. I had someone in Newcastle try to take a picture of me, like in my day-to-day life, because they thought what I was wearing was weird, and it was just a long t-shirt, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening here? This is it's a long t-shirt." Like,
see, that's the other thing as well. Like tying into what Tony said about how clothing's just clothing. It isn't like it's just fabric at the end of the day. And that's one thing that sort of sticks with me was when I was at university, the local, I say gay bar, it was O'Neill's. There's an O'Neill's in Newcastle. You know what it's like. But I was doing places drag shows like weekly. And a resident DJ called Alex, lovely guy. If you ever get a chance to meet Alex, DNLO, wonderful DJ, wonderful guy. Definitely recommend having a chat with him. And every week we always wear like, long line t-shirts, and he was the straightest, most like heteronormative type of guy you could meet. We would always wear like long t-shirts and things like that, and that was the first time I saw long line t-shirts, and I genuinely thought he was wearing a dress at first, and that's sort of like one of those things that sort of added to the idea of, hang on, what's the difference between that long line t-shirt and that dress that woman's wearing? The name of it. And it was like, well, that's a prime example. And like I used to work in Primark as well. And the amount of times customers come up to me and be like, "Oh, is this like a men's or a boys t-shirt?" Like, it's fabric. Whoever wears it, that's what it's for.
I've done that where I've been in a shop and I picked something up, and I've gone, "This isn't meant to be here, but I need it in a different size. Where do I find it?" Like, and I found it in the women's wear section. I've been like, "Right, that's fine then." Like, it makes no difference to me. Like, do you think gender identity is going to get more relaxed, or do you think it's actually going to kind of get more heightened before it gets better?
I think I'll get more relaxed over time. So I mean, even if you look back historically, like if you look in different cultures, like outside just European cultures and things like that, like a lot of cultures have had very relaxed ideas of gender outside the male and female binary. And I think over time we will eventually get to there. The idea of there being a third gender and like other forms of gender expression. It's just with a lot of people disagreeing to that, unfortunately, it's just going to take a long time. And eventually we'll find a happy medium that will suit everyone. It's just whether that'll happen in our lifetime, I have my doubts, but we'll get there in the end.
What about you, Paul? And how do you think gender's going to progress?
I think. Actually, God, these are big topics for Amanda.
We don't just get drunk. No, we have conversations.
This is why I'm taking the wine slowly, so I can talk about this stuff just in case.
I think. Let's think of some big words here. Government, politics.
They don't have to be big words. They've just got to be meaningful.
I think, like, do you know, with apps like TikTok and shows like RuPaul's Drag Race, I think it's really opening the idea of men being feminine. And like, I think all aspects of like femininity are getting shown online. Like if you watch TikTok, there's a trend where like straight men dance in skirts. I think, and then girls are going, wow, this looks sexy. I think like that including, if boys are saying, oh, girls are finding femininity like sexy, wearing skirts sexy, that encourages them almost to be like, well, I can put on a bit of concealer, I can put on a skirt, and girls will find it hot. And I think it's just like, as much as we still have problems in the world, we've got to appreciate how much the world has opened up as well, like to different types of things, different types of
like femininity thing now. Like makeup is there for men. Like I wouldn't recommend any of it because you know why put yourself into something that's been out for 3 weeks rather than something that's been tried and tested for decades.
I don't understand why they have to say for men.
Do you well, this is what I was going to ask. Like Toni, do you think makeup for men is something that should happen, or do you think men should eventually have like brands where it's very accessible for them anyway?
The thing is, I think having two things that do the exact same job is like insane for men, for women, is like it's kind of like leaning itself to people who feel kind of fragile about it.
It's supporting masculinity.
Where they're like, oh, I can't wear makeup, it's for girls.
Yeah.
Like, whereas I wear makeup all the time as a boy, and it doesn't make me a girl. Do you get me?
Absolutely.
I also think, like, what Kai was talking about, like, straight boys kind of, like, wearing, like, skirts on TikToks. Like, I think it's a good step forward. But what I was reading about, and, like, it kind of opened my eyes up was, like, these straight boys are getting praised for stuff that, like, when gay boys do it, or when anyone else does it, or non-binary people do it, straight boys will criticize them.
Yeah. If you're being called brave for doing something for a TikTok where someone is doing it to be their genuine self and they're getting harassed for it, that's not right.
It's like, do you know when Harry Styles wore a skirt and it was blown up and everyone's going, man wears a skirt as if gays haven't been doing it for ages.
Or a Vanity Fair. Or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like there's been like say like black gay icons that have been wearing skirts as well, being published, but they're not on a wider scale, and it's shocking. Like I think it was, do you know that guy from Pose, Billy Porter?
Yes, yeah.
He said that basically he finds it strange when a woman wears a suit, she's seen as powerful, but when a man wears a dress, she's seen as weak. Like he's seen as weak, and that's like saying masculine men are powerful. So if you wear a suit, you are empowering, and wearing a dress, since it's feminine, it's weak. And Billy says, scrap that. I'm going to wear a dress, and I'm going to show how powerful I can be. Like, and I think that's the aspect of drag I like.
Dresses and high heels came from being practical Like, it was practical for people to wear them, for men to wear them while they were working. Like, there's a story about high heels coming from butchers and abattoirs, so they didn't step in the blood. There's
But
the
yeah,
talk
high heels were for men.
skirts and kilts being just more accessible to wear. You could stretch further, you could run faster in them. Like, this is all very masculine things. And nowadays it's looked upon as such taboo for a man to feel comfortable wearing something slightly floaty.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith is a really good example of someone who is
Mm.
still quite young and very accepting of their body and very accepting of their fashion sense. And they've kind of gone, I don't care what I'm wearing, I know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, is it helpful for you guys as younger people to see this? Like, is there that way that you could be more of an inspiration to the next generation just by being yourselves? Do you feel like that's oppression?
Um,
Yeah, I'd definitely say that, like, just setting an exact, like, that's one thing a lot of people do ask drag queens as a whole is like, how do you want to, like, set, or at least in my experience, I get asked it a lot, but I don't know if that's just the sort of things I do with drag, but I do find myself getting asked a lot, like, oh, what do you want to do for, like, future generations? And I say, just be myself, just so, like, I'm unapologetically myself. Fair enough, people might love it, some people might hate it, but at the end of the day, if I'm happy with what I'm doing, so be it. And that's one thing, like, when I die, and whether it's next week, next year, whenever, when I die, I like to think that people remember me as someone who did what they wanted. And that's something I like to think future generations. But if I ever had kids, not on my to-do list at all, but if for whatever reason I do end up with kids in the future, the one rule I would very be strict with them is do whatever the hell you want. Even if I don't understand it, I might question it just to get better understanding, but I will fully support any decision you make, because your life, I don't want to be the one holding you back, and do what's best for you, essentially. Obviously, within reason. If they go out and start doing drugs when they're like 15, like heroin and shit, might have a slight problem with that as a parent. But besides that, your life, do what you want, express yourself however you feel fit. It's like the singer Pink, like the way she treats her kids, or kid, I can't remember if it's one or two. Like, I know she has a son that regularly wears dresses, and from what I know, it's fully his choice, and that's the sort of parenting we need more of, and just general more self-expression being allowed by parents. If that makes sense. I talk in circles a lot, if you haven't noticed.
What about you, Paul? Like, what are you like? Do you think being your natural feminine self is kind of like paying it forward?
So like growing up, I remember thinking, I'm going to do my makeup and part of my lashes. And I felt really powerful when I did it. But then when I was walking in public, I remember everyone staring. And I instantly drew that to negativity. And I thought, everyone's staring at it. Like, I felt really insecure. And like, I don't know if you used to have like worn makeup, like during the day, walked out in public, and everyone stares at you. They all look at you. And the worst ones I know when they pretend that they haven't looked at you and they're like this and they go, and they're like, they do the awkward look at you. I think that aspect, I always drew it to negativity, but like a lesson I learned is if they're staring at you, they're not always staring thinking, God, you're wearing makeup, you're a boy, you shouldn't be. They might just be staring at you because they're thinking, look at that person having the like being brave, having the confidence to go out in their makeup and slay just as good as the girls. And
Hands
I
up.
think that's what I learned.
I love moments when I'm out in public and I see people doing what I don't think I can do. Sat by the quayside last week and I saw a gay couple walk past holding hands. No one batted an eyelid. And I was sat there and I was like gagged at the fact that this couple, like, they must have only been young, they must have been in their 20s, early 20s, walking along the quayside holding hands. And I was just like, my God, if I could have done that. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's all about having the positivity to do it yourself, because you never know who's going to see it and go, I could do that.
Mm.
Like, what about you, Tony? Do you think, what are you hoping to pay forward to the next generation? Apart from
I
the fact
don't know, because I tend like not to think about it, because when I think about the older generation, like I think, like, not to get like personal, but like, so when I was younger and I was feminine, I was always kind of wrapped in cotton wool by my mum, because everything about me was just everything that like my dad didn't want, like in a son. Like I was like disabled, like I've got epilepsy and autism, and then like I was feminine, so I didn't want to play football. Like everything came between us two. And it's kind of like, I look at kind of the older generation, I think like if that's how people portray it, like in their generation, like I don't want that to carry on. So I think like at this moment, I think like we are on a right track and there is a lot of representation. It's just kind of like there's billions and billions of people on this earth.
Tony was going to say a number there, but then he was like, fuck. So I don't know how many people on this.
Go on, take a guess.
He was like,
there's billions and billions. There's billions and billions. Whether we'll get it fully right one day is debatable. But like I think we're on the right track. And I think that's all I can do is like Crystal said, is like just be myself and hold the morals and not be influenced. Like I grew up knowing clothes are just clothes. Like I still feel like myself when I'm in drag as to when I'm myself. Like there's no difference. There's no like character, even though like I completely respect people who do it and create a character, and
Absolutely.
like it's just like clothes are clothes to me, and this is why I do it for. It's like to express myself. So I don't know. I think it's a touchy subject. Like for me especially, because I don't know if we're fully gonna get there or what I can pass on. I'm just kind of living in my generation now, and I think I'm lucky for the generation I'm living in now, because the older generation was so much harder, and I'm aware of that. Like I'm so grateful. So
I think this is a thing that's kind of occurred to me over the past few weeks, talking to a lot of newer queens and still some older queens as well. We're both very respectful of each other. Like we both appreciate what the other one's going through. And I think that's one of the joys of drag, is that we can look at society from the outside perspective and kind of say, I can see this. I might not be able to relate 100%, but I fully appreciate what's happening. Like the fact that you younger queens can sometimes look at us and kind of go, you didn't have this luxury. And then us going, oh my God, you didn't have this experience to help you build. It's such a moment, because you can't have both. You can't have
very that.
experience.
That's one thing I always say, is I would love to experience what gay bars were like in like the 60s, like down to the 80s, and like especially in like American, like seeing a lot of stuff from Pose and like the New York Club Kid and things like that. I would love to experience it. And then you hear the negative of it, and like people being like literally like swilled in like mop buckets and things like that. And I'm like, like as much as I would love to experience it, I'm very glad I don't have to go through that for it. So like it is very much a double-edged sword of no matter which generation you're part of, at least as the current timeline is, there isn't any part of it. Hopefully somewhere down the line we will get the best of both worlds, but at the minute it is, no matter what part of time you're looking at, there's a downside.
Absolutely. Like I really hope so. On a lighter note,
because that got very serious for like a good half an hour there.
That was very chill. On a light note, so what's your favorite color? Because I haven't actually got any comments. Hang on, where's the questions? I've got the questions cards. I get the questions cards because I feel like we might need a little bit of sexual tension or something. Actually, which celebrity death match would you like to see?
Celebrity what?
Which celebrity death match? If you could pick
I
like Mortal Kombat.
As a kid, I hated that TV show. I don't know what it was about, but seeing like the claymation, like
What's
the celebrity I hated that TV show as a kid for some reason.
A death match poll. It's like if you had two celebrities
games.
To death, one of them had to fight until one of them died. Who would you pick?
Michelle Obama and Melania Trump. I'd love to see them two fight.
No, you are not joking with this shit.
Michelle Obama for the win.
Michelle Obama would destroy her. There's no.
Imagine if they got like little interviews in separate rooms. Imagine Melania Trump sat there. I would literally, and then watch Michelle Obama batter the crap out of her.
100%. Oh,
I'd watch the shit out of that. I'd download that and watch it on a regular basis.
I would watch it every day, just as like morning routine.
What about you, Crystal?
That's a good question. To be fair, I kind of want to just copy what you said because that's the peak one. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. But I think just for the sake of sticking with drag, and I feel like this will be a lot of potentially a controversial one, is Courtney Act versus RuPaul. Just because, in fact, Willem versus RuPaul, because Willem could throw some punches. Like, that would be an interesting one to watch. I mean, we all know how it goes. Willem would 100% win because RuPaul's like 200 years old. But that would be an interesting one just because Willem would make it interesting to watch.
What about you, Tony? If you could pick two celebrities to fight to the death?
I'm trying to think. Like, do you know from Twilight? No,
This is the moment everyone was waiting for. This is it.
no, like, do you know Edward and I want an answer.
I can't breathe in my closet.
So yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
can't breathe in this thing. Okay. You know from Twilight? What's it? Twilight?
Them two.
Guys, I can't breathe in the
So
closet.
you want an answer to the
I
Edward
just
versus
want like Team Edward, I want an answer. And they'll probably be really sweaty and they're both really fit. So like,
I can't breathe in my closet. Stop making us laugh.
I mean,
Well,
I was
Anyone's
down the
answer.
lines. Like, I was going to be like, I want Kate Hopkins versus Keith Morgan, but like that. I don't feel like Edward versus Jacob. I feel like that's the top
I
one.
think we've won with that one.
Tony wins that hands down.
We'll do one more, and then we'll call it like, because we're nearly at 2 hours, girls. We're nearly at 2 hours. So, what movie would you use to describe your adolescence? So, if you have a coming of age movie, what is it? Who wants to go first?
Let's think. I need a good one.
I need a second.
I mean, it's not my answer, but I've got a friend who has a very great answer to this. I've got a friend. Don't go. I guarantee she's not watching this, but she talks about this. It's the first thing you know when you meet her. It's like she'll be fine me telling it. But I've got a friend who lost her mum to cancer when she was quite young. I think about 10, give or take.
For years at the same time.
And then growing up, she's since referred to herself as Bambi, because she lost her mum when she was young. So, don't get me wrong. If you meet her, she's a lovely person. But that's the first time you'll meet. That's not me. That's someone else. Trust me. If you meet her, she is a lovely person. One of the best people I met at uni. But that was just a good answer because I don't have one.
Are we going to wait till Penny gets back from the bog?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I can tell you another one about my friend. A couple of years ago, her dad got really ill, so then she joked that she's halfway to being Batman.
Are you going to go to the toilet? Why is everyone going to the toilet?
It's just us two. It's because we're too cool for the toilet. That's why. We know how to drink. We don't break the seal.
So, Crystal, tell us about your drag style.
My drag style is very messy, unpolished, no idea how to do makeup, and cheap wigs. So the complete opposite of you, to be fair.
My drag is going out for a party. Yeah, literally, that's it.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Crystal, me and you were both robbed though from Drag Idol.
I've never claimed to be robbed, but I'm not going to disagree when people say I was.
Like, I would have at least expected to get to week 4 minimum. I wasn't expecting to win. I didn't need that 300 quid. I mean, I would have liked it.
I did. I really need that 300 quid. So if anyone wants to donate to my PayPal, I am in desperate need of cash. Feel free to send it my way. She just says she doesn't need it, so send her donations my way. Cool.
I can go on live on Instagram afterwards.
Donations. So yes, girls, one more question, and then I think we'll call it a night for tonight. Where we at? What we got? An unappealing name for a cosmetics range. What wouldn't you call your makeup range?
Do another one. Do another one. Do another one.
Tesco's own.
I was going to say Tesco's own as well. I was going to say something along the lines. Yes, we love our Tess. We do.
She really tries, bless her.
The worst name for a newborn baby.
Oh,
Boris.
God.
Tesco's own.
I'm glad you said it.
What wouldn't you call your baby?
Oh, I've got a really good answer for this, actually. And this is part of the reason why I say I refuse to have kids, because I don't want to be able to stop myself from doing this. So out of drag, my last name is Richards. I've said if I ever have a firstborn son, I want his name to be Richard. So it's Richard, aka Double Dick. And that is why I'm banning myself from having kids.
Double penetration, stealing the nation. No.
We know.
Girl. Links
You
will be
know, you know.
The videos.
So, girls, have you got any words of advice for anyone, or just any kind of loving wisdom that you want to share before we end?
That's a no.
God, let's think of something like really.
What about you, Penny?
really-
Penny, you always ask questions. No one ever asks you.
Penny, you go.
What loving advice would you give to people?
We'll go like this way around with this.
It's different for everyone, Tony. Like,
I'm gonna say something like I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about earlier about social media. Like, just don't say anything nasty, because it does come back to bite you in the arse. Like, I've had my days of where I used to share shit online and be like, I'm angry at this, I'm gonna put it online. Don't do it. It's not nice, it's not kind. Like, we can all share the be kind things, but you've got to do it for it to matter. Even tonight, we've had people in the chat who've been trying to be trolls. Luckily, Tess has been in there kicking them out. But
is there anywhere we can see those comments? I'm really curious what people have said.
Go on Twitter and go under that.
it's all there. Like, if you want to look for internet hate, it's all very available.
Everywhere. Go on Candy Muse's comments. Very bad.
It's
so there is one thing I do want to add, though, just what you mentioned there quite specifically, was how a lot of people share like the be kind stuff. Just one thing that really sticks with me was on Glow Up Season 2, Kezia, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Did anyone watch Glow Up Season 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, but Glow Up Season 2, there was someone who dropped out on episode 3, I think, just due to mental health and stress. Basically, because off of that, she got so much backlash. I followed her for years beforehand on the Instagram handle @BeautyChaos. Incredible makeup artist. What she did on the show is nowhere near reflective of what she's capable of, once again, due to mental health. But the amount of hate she got for that, like to this day, as far as I'm aware, she still gets messages about it. And this was a year plus ago. And there's one thing in particular that really sticks with me, because it really stuck with her as well, was there's one person who in their Instagram bio did have #BeKind, all of that stuff, and then also sent her a death threat and saying, you're absolutely disgusting. I can't believe you took this spot up from someone who was dedicated to makeup. You're such a weak, and just basically all this bullshit. And it was literally hang on, how are you going to sit and have be kind in your bio and then send someone that? Pick one.
It's so easy to be hateful behind a screen. Just think about the other person.
Social media is the worst place.
Oh, I hate social media. There's a reason I never post.
I think my advice is stop looking at how people react. Stop looking at people getting revved up online. Look at what's making them react. Don't sit there and judge someone for getting upset over hate comments. Look at the hate comment. Look at what's making them upset. Don't sit there and be like, oh, look, they called this person something. Look at why they called that person something. Look at the wider scale of things and stop being hateful. And I think my advice to anyone online is remember, people see things. It's not so, you might type it and you might not think that they don't see it. They do see it. And it just breaks people mentally. And I think it can hurt people quite a lot seeing nasty stuff about them. And just remember they can see it. anything you share, it's on the internet for life. So you might not think no one sees it, but it'll be on there forever. So stop sharing this stuff.
Everyone's going to get a notification saying that there's been another comment, and they're going to read it. And it's like I've seen people from Drag Race say that they read every single comment on their posts, and that's got to be heartbreaking. And that's not why any of us are here. Like, none of us are here to get hate. None of us are here to offend anyone. We're all just here to do what we do and enjoy it. And I feel like there's a whole generation of people who don't want to let anyone do that. They want to find a negative, and they're going to work that negative until it's happening. What about you, Toni? Like, what would you say?
I mean, I think mine like kind of links in the fact that like, and this is something like I've had to learn. It's like, don't take critiques as hatred, which is like, there's been so many like times where like, because I don't like, it takes me about like process things because I'm dumb, and it's like, when people shade me and they're like, oh, like this, that, and the other, or they give me advice, it takes me a moment to process it as advice rather than like not an attack, but like I'm like, well, does this person still like me?
Yeah.
And it's like, just, I think people sometimes, it works both ways where the receiving end doesn't know whether to take it as hate or as a critique, which are two different things, or the person saying it doesn't have enough tact to be saying it in a nice way, or it is just hate.
I do that a lot.
So it's the two, like we're humans, like when we're communicating, like there's gonna be people who are good at it, people who are bad, some people who receive things different ways. Like, be careful how you word things, because a critique and hate can come off the same way. Like if I throw shade, like normally it's like over text at the moment because of COVID, but I always add like love hearts. Like I'll be like I love you, drag, like just so they know like I'm not being a bitch.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the main things when I came on the scene, was like people were like, oh, you're actually like nice. And I was like,
do you mean you're pretty and nice? I don't understand.
Yeah,
impossible.
Like, why aren't you being like a cunt to me? And I was like, because I'm not a cunt.
It's
you get what I mean? So that's kind of my advice, is like, just be careful how you word things.
Yeah. So to wrap things up nicely, what's coming up next for you all? What's happening next? Has anyone got anything exciting in the plans?
Crystal, do you want to lead?
Well, there is one thing. It's not confirmed though, so I don't really want to go into too much depth about it, just in case. But I may or may not be moving to China later this year, as you do. It's still very early stages, so I don't know for definite. It's very 50-50 at this point, but yeah, it's like, why not? So that I'm kind of hoping it does go ahead though, because there's a lot of stuff I've turned down for like later on in this year, just in case. So if it doesn't go ahead, I'm screwed for the rest of this year. So fingers crossed it does go ahead. Otherwise, I've turned down a lot of work. But yeah, besides that, also a very fun thing, just to plug, just it makes me sound a lot fancier than it actually is. I got interviewed today for a book someone is writing, so I am going to be in paper words I have said. So as you can tell by the way I'm describing it, it was not me writing said book, but I got interviewed for a book. So that is a fun thing to look out for. It probably won't be out for like another 2 months, but yes, look out for my socials. So I'll be plugging the hell out of that once it gets released, because how many drag queens can say they've been quoted in a book?
Exactly, girl. Exciting for China as well. My God, I'm going to send you all my measurements and my address so I can get things.
It's fine. The thing I'm really excited for is AliExpress is like just across the road from there, so it's fine.
Hey, you've just dragged me and Toni on the live stream.
I've got you girls, don't worry.
What about Paul? What's up next? What's happening?
So a really sexy maid video is on OnlyFans. More sexy content's coming out. we're decorating the garden. So I've just got a new house. So we're working on the garden. We're getting new furniture. So that's my next project to do up. We've just finished my drag room.
I saw the lighting. I'm not jealous at all.
So what's next is more content on OnlyFans. So subscribe.
Links will be in the chat. Links will be in the chat.
Yeah, links will be somewhere. They'll be down below.
What about you, Toni? What's up next?
I mean, I've got MX, which is a pageant. But I also have, and this was literally, I've been working this out over the day. I've got a runway in Glasgow coming up, which I'm going to create my own outfit for and run down in, which is really exciting. It's just kind of like with COVID, but it's happening hopefully in August. I got to create like 3 looks, so I'll make my own, and then I'm going to have like 2 other people, so like probably just my best friends.
So lots to look forward to for everyone. I'm going to be Bobby's in the yard as ever because it's me, Penny Arcade. But girls, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Honestly, it's been an absolute blast. Apologies to everyone in the comments because we haven't been able to see a lot of the comments tonight. They kind of stopped working. But thank you for watching. Thank you for joining in. To the haters, fuck you all. You don't need it. I mean, not on my lives. Fuck off. If you want to hate, get yourself somewhere.
If you want,
can we just appreciate, just before ending, we need to comment on something that Hannah's just commented on YouTube. Daddy.
Fuck off.
Going back to drag idol drama, we don't go 3 days without someone mentioning that in the drag idol chat. By someone, I mean Fanny or Tess, but yeah. So that is just a great way to end tonight, in my opinion.
Bye, Daddy. Bye, Daddies. It's
all I'm thankful. Get in touch with Bad Wear Day. They have their daddy t-shirts. If you can get a daddy t-shirt,
Daddy. Daddy.
They have Toni The Doll.
It's the porn version. It's there. It's happening. Very soon. But for tonight, thank you very much, all 3 of you, for joining us, and everyone who's been watching. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Shall we have one quick? I'm going to have a quick shot before we go. Just sit around.
I've got the reminiscence of my drink.
I will not be downing this. Tess made me down half a bottle of wine last time, and the room was spinning when I went to bed. So will not be doing that tonight. Thank you.
Future positive things and to fucking the haters in the ass.
Yes. Fuck the haters.
It's been a pleasure. But for tonight, I've been Penny Arcade. You've all been fantastic. Is that a thing? I don't know.
It is now.
Last Tuesday of the season, we've got Sushi Buffet and Tequila Mockingbird joining us, 2 original drag idol winners. Not like these.
There's always all stars, ladies.
There's always all stars. We'll be there.
See you then. But for now, good night, take care, and ta-ra. Bye, guys!